In late 1944, the German war machine launched its last major offensive of the war against the Allies, in an attempt to drive their way to the port of Antwerp and cut the British, Canadian and American armies in two. This offensive would become known as the Battle of the Bulge, being fought from December 1944 into January 1945. Allied troops up and down the line fought hard to push back the German advance. This is the story of one of the lesser-known units that fought during that bitterly cold winter. The Flying Hellfish, the Fighting Ears Squad in the Fighting Ears Company in the 3rd Fighting Ears Battalion in the Army, landed in France during Operation Overlord in June 1944, helping to push the Germans out of Normandy. The squad was primarily made up of residents from a town called Springfield in the US, led by Master Sergeant Abraham Simpson, better known as Abe. Other members of the Hellfish included Private Charles Montgomery Burns, their radio operator Sheldon Skinner, Private 5th Class Arnie Gumble, Private Iggy Wiggum, along with Griff, Asa, Ox and Etch, the squad's resident cartoonist. The Hellfish were thrust into the fighting in the Ardennes in December 44, Master Sergeant Simpson even coming centimetres away from assassinating the Fuhrer himself during a visit he made to the front in late December. However, his aim was interrupted by Private Burns. How different the outcome of the war could have been if it wasn't for a rogue tennis ball. However, this run-in with Burns did not stop Simpson from saving his life from a shell burst during the fighting. After their heroics fighting in the Ardennes, the members of the Flying Hellfish would later, in May 1945, fight one last action in Germany, flushing out a force of fanatical German troops out of an abandoned castle in western Germany. The squad found in the castle a stash of stolen priceless paintings. According to reports and first-hand accounts of the aftermath of the battle recollected by Abe Simpson to his grandson in the mid-1990s, Private Burns suggested they take the paintings and become rich off the proceeds. Simpson reluctantly agreed to the scheme, Burns suggesting a Tontine be set up to give the last surviving member of the group sole possession of the paintings. Private Ox remarking at the time, "Of all those purdy pictures." Over the course of the next 50 years, after the incident at the castle, Burns and Abe Simpson were the last remaining members of the Tontine. Ox passing away while removing the paintings from the castle, 5 other Hellfish members were tragically killed during the 1979 Veterans Day float disaster. According to reports from the time, Burns attempted to kill Abe for the paintings, but before he could do so, the US State Department stepped in and returned the paintings to their rightful owner, Baron von Herzenberger. The whereabouts of the paintings are unknown as of 2024. Of course, none of this ever happened.
Grandpa and Bart are on the trail of buried treasure, unless a rival buries them first.
Someone's trying to kill me!
Can they outfox their deadly foe?
I'll take the masterpieces, thank you. Take the art if you want. Just don't hurt the boy. I'd rather do both.
The Simpsons. Tonight at 6 on Fox 5.
It was the main plotline of the 1996 Simpsons episode Raging Abe Simpson and his Grumbling Grandson in The Curse of the Flying Hellfish. One of my personal favourites, not only for its World War II theme, but for having some of the sharpest jokes in an already fantastic season during the show's golden period. Despite the comedic nature of the episode, and its depiction of the war in Northwest Europe, there is some genuine history behind some of the exploits of the Flying Hellfish. There was indeed a planned assassination attempt by the British Special Operation Executive in 1944 called Operation Foxley, where an SOE member would have been dropped into the Bavarian Alps to try and dispatch the Fuhrer while he took exercises around the Berghof, his holiday home. The operation, however, was never given the green light, but shows there was some fact behind the fun and the fiction of the episode. The plans to Operation Foxley were only made public in June 1998, almost 2 years after The Simpsons did it. The second thing the show gets right about the Second World War is the stolen paintings. The Germans carried out art thefts and looting on a grand scale during the war. Paintings, jewels, gold bullion, and items of cultural significance were stolen and hidden by the Nazis during the course of the fighting. Some of the looted items were planned to be housed in the Fuhrer Museum if the Germans had been victorious, Hitler envisaging it to be the world's greatest collection of art in the world, and was set to be built in his home city of Linz in Austria. A special programme was set up in 1943 by the Allies called the Monuments, Fine Arts and Archives Programme, MFAA, better known as the Monuments Men, to help recover stolen art and artefacts from German captivity. Some of the artwork recovered or saved from destruction by them during the war included works by Sandro Botticelli, Michelangelo, and Johannes Vermeer. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look back at the exploits of the Flying Hellfish. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you again soon.